And away we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, Upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. It's great to be with you. I am Rob Brown. Directly across from me, the radio goat, the guy in charge of the broadcast. He is the professor of perfection. He is the wizard of wave. He is the alpha and the omega of the Fan Upstate. Colonel Grudge, hashtag Dad Kicks, the great one, Lonzo, joining us here on the show. What's up, dog?
I think if I accidentally ran into that TV, we'd get a new one.
I feel like we should already, but if that is what you feel is the best way for us to make that happen, I'll film it.
Yeah, but then they'll know that I did.
No, but I'll be like, hey guys, what up? It's Rob Brown coming to you live. It's your boy. Make sure you mash that like and subscribe button. Oh, Lonzo, are you okay?
Now I want to do that. Just so you can do that part.
Make sure you smash that like button.
I'm thinking of cutting that part out and just using that on occasion, just for no reason. Putting that next to the William Shatner. This is right there.
Oh, yeah. Did we get some Shatner drops on the show today? We haven't had some Shatner drops in a while. We got a couple of good ones in there. We need to work back into the rotation. Do we need more sound bites, Lonzo?
We do, and we also need the ability to play said sound bites in a more ergonomic
But
way.
there's a way that you can just click the button and it plays. Ask me how I know, because last week I accidentally hit the button that then sets it up to where you just push the button and it plays. And this may shock you, freaked myself out a couple of times by just randomly playing stuff. There it is.
I mean, there is, but I just got to remember to switch it back, because if I don't, I'm just going to...
Again, ask me how I know. See? Now you're in the zone.
But see, the other part is, you notice what I'm having to do?
Oh, my.
When I'm talking about ergonomics, I mean, I can move
You gotta
this.
reach way
I
over there.
can move this mouse, but then I have other mice and
You are working. Lonzo, let me tell you how great the great one is, ladies and gentlemen. My man's got 4. Okay, what the hell was that?
I don't know what that was.
What the hell was that?
Train derailment, possibly. I don't know.
Something just exploded in, around, or near the studio. And for the record, it wasn't just me. Lonzo, it got me and Lonzo's attention both.
Yeah, we can go back and look on the video and notice this both.
Oh, trash truck over here dropped the dumpster.
Ah, okay.
Picked up and then dropped the dumpster.
Crisis averted. It's just trash.
Lonzo's working with 4 mouses. Mices? Mises. Multiple computer mouses called what? Google says multiple computer mouses. You may go with either mice or mouses. It's your preference. Mice is more common, but either is acceptable.
Oh, wow. That one doesn't work.
3 mouses, apparently.
I'll have to fix that.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a show we've got lined up for you today. Thank you, Shat. Appreciate you. We have a phenomenal show lined up for you, mainly because last night, playoffs, really, really good. And I'm talking about both the NBA and the NHL. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Dear Boston, what? 2 of 15 in the third quarter. Lost the third quarter, 39 points to 11 points. Lonzo is up 1-0 on Rob Brown in the playoffs so far.
I gotta say, watching that first half, I'm like, okay, Rob's got this. He was right.
Rob thought he did.
Then what a locker room adjustment or pep talk. Don't know what happened, but Miami came out in the third quarter and just tore it up.
39
Jimmy Butler, man.
14 was your third quarter differential. Boston won. Check this out, Zoe. Boston won the first quarter, 28-25. They won the second quarter, 34-29. They won the fourth quarter, 31-25. They lost the entire game just in the third quarter. allowed 39, scored 14, outscored the Heat in 3 out of 4 quarters. And then the bed in the third. Unbelievable. Some disappointment. Grant Williams, I know he was banged up a little bit. He had some injuries that started kicking in late in the game. 7 points in 35 minutes. You got 3 points out of Derek White. Starting 3 points. I don't know what happened, right? Like, besides they shot really poorly in the third quarter, it wasn't an awful night. They shot 46% from the floor, 33% from behind the arc, 24 of 32 from the stripe. That's not great. 75%. You got to do better than 75% from the stripe. But I don't know, Lonzo. Like, I watched this game.
Could
the
this
same thing halftime? I'm like, hey, it's pretty good for Boston. And then they just absolutely fell apart in the third.
Could this be a series where the crowd helps determine the winner? Is this going to be a home court kind of thing?
I mean, maybe, but like, the crowd don't play defense.
They don't.
Right? The crowd ain't on the floor playing defense.
They were pretty loud though.
Listen, it's Miami. It's South Beach, baby. They were having a good time. Folks at South Beach, they have a good time. That's why they're on South Beach. I got no doubt the crowd's going to get hype. And by the way, when you come out to a halftime deficit of, what were they down, 9 at the half? And you run that out in 5 minutes in the third quarter and take the lead and hold the lead, of course, there's going to be a little juice down there in South Beach bringing the heat.
Also, Tyler Hero, man, that is energy right there. He is everywhere.
Tyler Hero, 18 points, 7 of 15 from the floor, 1 of 5 from the arc, hit 3 out of 3 from the stripe, came down with 8 rebounds and 3 assists. 27 minutes of play. Tyler Hero plays basketball the way that every kid that should not have made the basketball team but made the basketball team plays basketball, right? Tyler Hero is the dude that got told, yeah, you're not supposed to be out here, young man. And all Tyler Hero's done is come up with absolute consequences in big-time moments. There's some other dudes I enjoy playing. Jimmy Buckets is different level, man. And Jimmy Buckets is one of those cats. Jimmy Buckets is one of those cats that seems to be fueled by, I don't know, Lonzo, what's the right word? Bitterness, anger.
My kind of guy.
He seems to be one of those guys. Remember after the Heat finished up knocking off Philly, and he's in the locker room, and he's yelling, Tobias Harris over me, Tobias Harris over me. And he had some other choice words that are not FCC friendly thrown in there, right? Tobias Harris over me. And they hit him a bunch. He used that, man. He fueled that, right? He went after Philly to show them that when you decided Tobias Harris was the guy over Jimmy Buckets, you made a mistake. And he was right. They did. But Jimmy Buckets, let me ask you this, Lonzo. You've been watching the NBA playoffs. Between all of the NBA playoff games, they advertise the NBA and the NBA playoffs, right? We've seen Braun pop up. He ain't in it. We've seen Steph's face pop up to pimp the Warriors, and that's fine. So how many Jimmy Butler shots have we seen as hype video for the NBA?
I don't recall seeing any.
Yeah. We have gotten more, and for the record, I got no problem with it, but we have gotten more Tyler Hero video footage. In fact, I saw the other day, which show was I watching? Oh, I was watching, there was a commercial It was an NBA/Thor Love and Thunder crossover promo. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Lonzo.
I saw it this morning before I switched things over on the big TV.
Love it. So there was a commercial for Thor Love and Thunder in which they had Tessa Thompson, who plays Valkyrie. They had Taika Waititi, who is Korg / the director. Is he directing this one? He is, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, perfect. I'm not seeing it if he doesn't. Love Taika Waititi. Anyway, they got Tessa Thompson plays Valkyrie talking to Taika Waititi. And then Chris Hemsworth, obviously, who plays Thor, walks in. And then across the other side of the screen walks in Tyler Hero. Thor's like, yo, what are you doing here? Tyler's like, I'm a superhero, right? Haha, funny play on words. It's his name. And I get why you did that commercial because his name's Hero and you've got some superheroes and haha, funny puns.
See,
I'm a pun guy, but
I get you trying to make a point here, but I kind of liked it.
I loved it. No, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I loved it. It was great. It was great. But the point is, I'm seeing plenty of Tyler Hero spots. Jimmy Butler gets no love. And Jimmy Buckets deserves it. Because you look at that game last night, up and down the Miami Heat scoreline, 18 for Tyler Hero, not a bad night. 17 for Vincent, not a bad night. 41 for Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy did that. Jimmy B did that. Give my man his due. He earned it. He earned it. How is nobody talking about Jimmy Butler? Yesterday, we talked about the fact that it seems every time Luka Doncic gets into a playoff series, we forget about Luka until the series is over, and it's time for Luka to remind himself about the world. Or I should say, remind the world about himself. We went into that last series, Dallas-Phoenix, and who'd we talk about for a week? CP3, Devin Booker. It started with, wow, point guard's on a different level. And Devin Booker, they've built around this guy. It's working just fine. Ain't nobody said nothing about Luka. And then Luka reminded the world who the hell he is by showing up and ending that series, man. And laughing in Devin Booker's face when he did it. I think we're doing the exact same thing with Jimmy Butler. The exact same thing with Jimmy Buckets. Nobody talks about Jimmy B until he pulls up and he drops 41 on Boston. He helps the Heat run out to a 39-14 third quarter over the Seas. And he puts his squad up a game to none. This thing's far from over, right? But Lonzo, if the Heat can go 2-0 at home to kick this series off, that's big. I checked out the Vegas odds yesterday, just for the record and because I enjoy following it. Vegas had Boston minus 170 to win the series. Miami was like plus 115, which means that you had to bet $170 to win 100, meaning the Celtics were big favorites. You had to bet 100 to win over 100 for the Heat. They were the dogs. Vegas picked Boston. Everybody in the media except the great one picked Boston. And I'm not entirely sure Lonzo didn't pick Miami just because I did pick Boston.
No, I told you earlier on. I'm a Spoelstra fan, and I don't think he gets enough credit for being a good coach because of, he's able to win with LeBron and D Wade and Bosh. But he's had Miami pretty good every single year, and they've been in the playoffs, and they had a good run last year. So, yeah, that's why I picked Miami, because I think they really have a shot at it. Has the line changed?
Let me look it up since it's, I guarantee you it has now.
Because it's only one game. I mean, Boston very well could go out and win the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, it still could be Heat in 5, but I wouldn't bank on it.
Tracy on the stream says I picked Heat in 6 because of Rob.
You know what? That's very fair. That's very fair. I'm not mad at that. Let's see here. Oh. Lonzo asked if the Vegas odds have changed. The Vegas odds going into the series, from what I saw, had Boston about minus 130-ish on average, and Miami about plus 115. As of this morning, Lonzo, the Miami Heat are now minus 152, and the Boston Celtics are now plus 125. Meaning the Heat are now not just favorites, but almost 2-1 favorites. Wow.
Does this mean Vegas doesn't really know about this? I mean, that kind of a shift
Partially,
after one
but
game?
Also, I mean, the other part of it is this is post game one, right? So now you're betting on the Heat to win 3 games before the Celtics win 4. And now it's just math numbers included, but almost 2-1. Almost 2-1 is impressive. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got more on this. We'll go ahead and get you set up for tonight's game number 1 out in the West. Dallas getting set up to take on Steph Curry's Golden State Warriors. Phone line's open for you. 844-FAN phone, 844-326-3663. 844-FAN phone. You can also text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-M. We'll read them on the air. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Gotta say, I do believe that Miami's going to win the series. Will they win the championship? I don't know. But I'm not extremely confident in it because Boston is a really good team. And on paper, Boston probably should win. But that's why they play the game. It was close. It was really close.
That's my new dance move. Trying to be like Fred Astaire. Smooth. Hey, Miss Lisa, good morning.
Not only good morning, but happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Miss Lisa. Happy birthday, Miss Lisa. I hope Lonzo cooks you a home-cooked meal and rubs your back and pours you a bubble bath later.
We are actually going to one of her favorite restaurants. So,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, family's going. Don't ask me the name of it because I always forget it. But I know where it is.
That's all that matters as long as you get there.
It's Italian.
Uh-huh.
Wanted to go straight up Nick Cage and say Italian, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do that.
Thanks, Miss Lisa. I also like this color shirt, mainly because it makes people look at me funny. Not Lonzo. He accepts me for who I am.
Yeah, I think a more colorful hat might have been, in play there.
But
But
it accessorizes.
no, it works. It works. It also points down to the shirt, so your attention is not divided. So.
Fair enough.
And it's been a while since you've worn that color. I think this is the first time in this time slot.
I don't know.
You weren't going through your calendar and going, yeah, I wear this on Tuesday. I wear that on this. There are some people who do that. That's the one you said that you thought was me doing it.
Okay.
Yes. Which, if I'm going to sing poorly, I'm going to make sure I really sing poorly. Or normally. I mean, it just depends on your perspective.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate. Yes. More drops as long as most of them are William Shatner.
All right, so you're right. I've been dropping the ball on this. It's not like I don't know how to do it. I think I will create an entirely other page of nothing but drops.
Just for drops.
Yeah, I think it works better on the one thing that we used to have that we don't have anymore. That's on your side. I don't think that functions anymore.
Oh, yeah, over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus with some wiring difficulties, it doesn't work. So if I screw up, I screw up, but it's worth it.
Oh, wow.
But the question is, what else do you want in there?
I've got I actually started at one point. I got to see if I ever I think I started it and then stopped. But I actually started building a drops folder just for us, Lonzo. Just for us. What do I have in there so far? Was this music added just to play Shatner's "Oh Wow" over it?
No, that's when we turn the lights down low and you know.
Oh wow!
Hit that bass.
Yeah.
Only problem is I don't have separate volume control when I do that. So
we're gonna have to get Captain America in here later to fix that. Oh wow! Oh, that's beautiful, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the only bad part is the stream can't hear any of that. But you know, that's why you should listen on the Odyssey app, I guess.
Let's see. I got a few clips in here we could add to it. I've got DJ being asked if he can still party with the Young Bucks and saying, "Oh, abso-lutely," because he caught himself after about 9 beers deep about to violate FCC orders, answering the question. I've got Aaron Rodgers telling Bears fans, "I still own you." I can think of a few reasons we will play the clip of Aaron Rodgers yelling, "I still own you." I got Garrett Cole. You
try to get in there.
I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, got that one. I've got Giannis's "I have to tinkle" in the GOAT clip. And I've got John McEnroe screaming, "You cannot be serious!"
All right, so I definitely at least need the "I have to tinkle" thing so I can play that when you decide to go long when I have to tinkle.
Respect.
Respect. Which always happens when you really got to go. Rob goes, let's go another 5 minutes. I think he sees me squirming. I think that's what it is.
It's the only way to troll you back. That's it. I'm not good enough in the troll game
to
keep up with you.
Deserve it. Every bit of it.
Let's get to the Western Conference game, as we have got the Dallas Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors.
I'm hissing. I don't when you say the name of Golden State. I don't have that effect.
You just hate Golden State so much that you got that reaction out of it.
Yes.
I like it.
I would play, the theme from Darth Vader, but I don't want to give them that much credit.
Steph Curry's Golden State Warriors are in the Western Conference Finals and hosting it. Luka Doncic and the Mavs. And it's gonna...
See, I'm stuck on this now. Now I got to get the sound of a binky for every time his name is mentioned.
You're such a hater, man.
Hey, but I own it.
You do. You do. I'm interested in this series, and I'm interested in this series because there is going to come a point, and I don't know if it's this series. I don't know if it's going to be triggered by stamina. I don't know. Lonzo, does this Dallas team have enough firepower with Luka to overcome Clay, Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, Draymond Green? Like, the starting 4 of 5 for Golden State is really good. They got a great bench. I just don't think Dallas has 7 games worth of depth to go at Golden State. I just don't.
They don't need 7. They only need 4. And here's the thing. If they had some sort of an instigator over on the Golden State side that could say something to Luka, like, was said in the last series that fueled him. If they had some guy that's known for doing that sort of thing who actually came at Luka and said something, then Dallas probably has even better of a chance. Luckily, Golden State doesn't have a guy like that who gets suspended every once in a while and gets in trouble for saying stuff. Because I'm guessing if they had that guy's going to say something to Luka.
I don't know, like, first off.
Do you go to Draymond and go, hey, look, we see what
Don't talk smack.
All right, you could say it to anybody else on the Dallas team. Just leave Luka alone. Let him smile. Let him do whatever. Just leave him alone.
I'm just going to post a picture of Luka to a chair at the end of the Golden State bench and be like, Draymond, every time you want to get at Luka, run down here, yell at the Luka face on the chair, and then get back out, right? I don't care if it's in game, because the last thing I need is for you to go get into Luka's face and make Luka go Super Saiyan on us like he did against the Suns, right? The last thing I need is for you to challenge Luka's power level and have him go ahead and level up on us mid-series.
There's a problem there, though. Draymond can't not do it. He can't.
I don't think he can.
It's not within him to just leave a person alone. He's going to go after the guy on that team. That's what he does, and that's going to fuel Luka.
But my question is, and my question stays at this point. My question stays now. Does Super Saiyan Luka fronting the Dallas Mavericks, is there enough artillery there to beat Golden State?
What Luka needs, he needs that second guy, and he got that second guy a couple times, and that's the reason why they were able to win. I still believe they're going to win the thing. If you look on paper, Golden State should win the entire thing, should win the championship. Anytime they're in the playoffs and they're at full strength, which they appear to be, they should be untouchable, but they're not. Because they're getting older, and I think the injuries, even though they're fairly healthy, I believe, still those injuries, even though you're healed, they're still there. They're always there, and they slow you down a step.
Yeah, there's there's the mentality that can shift of, is my knee ever going to be the same? Is my hip, is my back ever going to be the same? And it will impact how you play. That being said, Golden State right now is playing great basketball, right? I mean, the four guys that we mentioned right now are playing great basketball. Dallas, for the record, and let me be very clear, Dallas went a long way. Credit to Mark Cuban in the gang in the Big D for building a team around Luka Doncic that complements Luka Doncic, right? They went out and found guys that fit Luka Doncic in his game. Spencer Dinwiddie is suddenly not even really a six man. He's just a good player. I think top to bottom that the Mavericks have done what the Bucks did. Granted, keep in mind that the Bucks were missing Chris Middleton. Would Chris Middleton have made a difference for Milwaukee in the last series? Yes! Yes, he's the second best player on that team. He would have made an enormous difference. The Dallas Mavericks, when they traded Kristaps Porzingis to the Washington Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans, I think a lot of people went, oh, Dallas has imploded, right? But remember, Porzingis was brought down there after his Knicks days because they thought he was going to be an absolute force in the interior, and he never developed. Partially because the way he wants to play basketball did not mesh with the way that Luka does play basketball, right? Kristaps Porzingis could not operate the way he needed to operate with Luka Doncic. So they traded for those two cats, both guys who play a good game around them. After the trade of Kristaps Porzingis, the Mavericks jumped from 24th in the league in three-point shooting to 9th. And since that trade, they have the second best winning percentage in the NBA. That's since the trade. Because Dallas did something that I wish more NBA teams would do. They looked at the superstar, they looked at the crown jewel, the centerpiece, and they said, how do we complement that? It's not about how do we get the best players, how do we get the most sought-after players in free agency. It's how do we get the players that fit around that guy. After that trade of Kristaps Porzingis, Doncic led the NBA in both frequency and scoring efficiency in isolations, right? They were able to do for Luka what Luka wanted to do. They were able to take Luka. They were able to get him some one-on-one, some isolations on the outside, because when Kristaps was down there, you could collapse the defense, right? And when Luka would drive, when Luka would put his head down, you just had whoever was covering Kristaps Porzingis slide over. Somebody from the backside cover him to close that passing lane. Now Luka's 2-on-1 more often than he's not. With Spencer Dinwiddie and co., you got to cover every inch of the floor. Opens the floor up for Luka Doncic to be Luka Doncic. And look at what my dude is doing now. Guy's playing great basketball. Dallas did something phenomenal. They got a bunch of guys that play the way Luka Doncic wants to play, and it's worked. My only question, how many times have I told y'all the lesson of Tom Grant? Sometimes the other team's just better than you are. I think the biggest problem the Dallas Mavericks are going to have are the Golden State Warriors. Because as Lonzo pointed out, this team has not frequently been 100% healthy, right? They have not frequently had Draymond and Steph Curry. They have not frequently had the entire starting five together. Now they do, right? And not only do they have Steph and Draymond and Clay all healthy finally for the first time.
If Clay's not, around the corner eating wings. I don't know if you've seen the commercial. It could be.
I'm not mad at him. You got Steph Curry healthy. You got Clay healthy. You got Draymond healthy. But you've also got Andrew Wiggins, who has kind of become an assist monster the last few games. You got Gary Payton II running the point and doing a pretty good job of it. And has there been a bigger surprise in the NBA playoffs than Jordan Poole turning into a little monster? Not really. I think for the first time, the Golden State Warriors are at full power. And for the first time, Lonzo, might just be too talented to beat. I love Luka Doncic. I like this Mavs team. I think they are about to run up against the biggest problem in sports. Steph, Clay, Draymond, Jordan, Wiggins, Gary too. The Warriors are just too good.
There was a year when that was also said, and then LeBron came along and took them down.
Yeah, is Luka LeBron though?
Not yet.
Right. If Luka Doncic wins this series, if the Dallas Mavericks beat the Golden State Warriors, I don't know that I'll be ready to say that Luka Doncic is the best player in the NBA. I will be willing to say he's right next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'd be willing to say that Luka's right next to Giannis. If you ask me today, which one of those two cats do I want to start a team around? The answer is Giannis Antetokounmpo. If Luka Doncic pops off and Dallas wins this series, that answer might change. All right, let's run to a break. Speaking of game ones, we had a couple of them in the NHL Stanley Cup last night. I'll run you through those when we come back. Coming up at 10:20 this AM, we're going to be joined by the head coach of the Greenville Liberty, the women's team. Coach Julie Carson's going to join us here on the show. We'll talk to her. They have their first home match this Friday evening at Legacy Early College, and your boy will be on the play-by-play call for that. We'll talk to Coach about that coming up at 10:20. Stay tuned. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. Trey, we'll answer that in a minute. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I brought for lunch today a peanut butter banana chocolate smoothie, protein smoothie.
Wow.
I know. Also, you want to see what happened in my house yesterday? You may have already seen it, but my pet.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. Those things are amazing.
For those of you who
They're also
don't,
scary.
they're awesome. For those of you who do not follow me on Twitter for whatever reason, your boy.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me, Seymour. Your boy grows, well, I don't grow. Well, I do. I mean, I guess I do grow, technically. I have planted and am growing Venus flytraps. Why can't I get, there we go. Venus flytraps. Because I think they're fascinating, right? Like, it's a carnivorous plant. That's awesome. It's a plant that eats meat. That's amazing.
But at the same time, how big can they get? Can they eat humans? I mean, but there are movies about that, so.
Anyway, my Venus flytrap my new Venus flytrap caught its first, it caught a silverfish yesterday. It caught its first meal. And here's the dumb thing. The lady friend was laughing at me, Lonzo, because I walked outside and I was talking to it. I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did it. You caught a bug. I'm so proud of you.
You're supposed to talk to plants.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
My little Venus flytrap is the best. Also, I didn't know this. You know they're native to the Carolinas and only the Carolinas.
I did not know that.
They are native to the Carolinas.
Wow. Do they thrive in the clay, or do they have to have?
There's like a very small region of they grow in the woods.
So you're saying I could have some Venus flytraps, out around me somewhere, possibly?
Yeah. Let me see. Hang on. Distribution. I read this at one point. Venus flytraps occur naturally only along the coastal plain of North and South Carolina. And so they're on the East Coast.
Ah, okay.
With all known current sites within 90 kilometers of Wilmington, North Carolina.
What's a kilometer?
A much more sensible distance scale than miles.
I need miles, man. It's America.
Remaining extant populations exist in North Carolina and Beaufort, Craven, Pamlico, Carteret, Jones, Onslow, Duplin, Pender, New Hanover, Brunswick, Columbus, Bladen, Sampson, Cumberland, and Hoke counties, and in South Carolina and Horry County.
Were you struggling with Pacolet? Is that what that was?
Which one?
Was it Pacolet? The start of the P? There's one that
Pamlico?
Okay. Pamlico.
Okay.
I also enjoy the nature. I've sat out in the gazebo one day and watched a lizard and a spider, just waiting and watching the lizard close in on the spider and then watch it eat the spider. I've tried to explain to my wife that lizards are our friends. She doesn't care for the lizards, though. I'm okay once I recognize it's a lizard. As long as I don't think that's a snake, I'm good.
Yeah.
Once I go, that's a lizard, I'm good. Especially the ones with the neck thing.
Like the little...
Yeah, the thing that's wild. All right, Trey, I'm going to go ahead and address this. I hate Golden State because on the previous incarnation earlier on in the beginnings of this station, there was a co-host.
Should we tell this on air?
I mean, that's fine.
Let's do it on air.
I don't care.
Because I think a lot of people want to know.
I've tried to block the video of the thing, and it keeps showing up because I know who filmed it, and she won't let it go because she thinks it's hilarious. And she works on another station. She works on another station in this building. But, I also will always kind of hold management responsible. So, but that's fine. Harley in the next break, by the way.
Okay. So please don't put endorsements in the last break of the hour.
It's as we talked about,
It's not the last one,
he misses sometimes,
Yep.
but yeah.
Trey, I'm going to have Lonzo tell that story on air because I'm curious. I mean, I'm not curious. I know, but I know other people are. So I was going to do some NHL Stanley Cup talk, and I'm absolutely going to because last night the Tampa Lightning looked phenomenal against the Florida Panthers. By the way, the Stanley Cup goes through the state of Florida because that's how it works, apparently. Had a really good game between the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues last night. We're going to break both of those down later in the show. But Trey, in our live stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, or search The Rob Brown Show on YouTube, like, subscribe. Smash that like button, bro. Smash that like button, bro. Follow The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. You can watch the show live, go behind the scenes, hang out with me and Lonzo during the break, and you can ask questions that Lonzo and I will interact with when we are off the air, as Trey did when he popped in and said, I would love to know why Lonzo dislikes Golden State so much. I'm not a Golden State fan, but I appreciate Steph Curry because of his dad and his time with the Hornets. And Trey is not the first person who has asked why it is that Lonzo hates the Golden State Warriors. So, Lonzo, the floor is yours to tell the story.
All right, so the first few years when we started the station, Greg McKinney was the host. He retired. But we had several different other co-hosts other than myself, and one of which we had a lot of arguments basketball-wise, and we started doing what you do on radio, and we had some bets. And one of the bets was that LeBron
James
would beat Golden State. And that particular year, he did not. So I made the mistake, the biggest mistake you can make in radio or probably in life, accepting a bet without a stipulation agreed upon. And so here's the problem. They decided, and I think Greg was in on this, and that's fine because, I don't know if
How would he not have been?
Well, because you guys know that I'm a little macho, just a little bit. So our fearless leader, Mark Hendricks, decided that he would come up with the punishment. So the punishment was that I had to wear a dress on the air. And so I had to wear a dress on the air.
And
so one of the biggest embarrassments of my daughter's life is we went to Goodwill and I had her buy the dress because even though I was going to wear it, I wasn't going to buy it. And so we bought a dress. I put it on. I wore it. Unfortunately, someone in the building decided to come in and video it. And I untag myself all the time. I do whatever I can.
Oh, it's still making the rounds.
And it still shows up. I won't say the co-host name because he lost a couple more times and never paid up on the bets. I paid up, even though it meant me wearing a beautiful sundress, by the way. Which
was it red?
It was not. It had flowers on it.
Floral.
Because if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
No, hey, listen, you're a floral guy. I respect that.
I absolutely am. Goes with the hair and the eyes.
Yep.
So afterwards, I went home, and there's also a video, which it may still be up, of me putting said dress in the fire pit and burning it afterwards.
In the fire pit?
Yes.
You didn't even have it in you to donate it to a good cause.
No.
No. This needs to not exist anymore.
No. I wanted to make sure that it didn't exist. You're right. It was only ashes. It's in the wind now somewhere. I don't know. So I burn it. So that's the reason why. So I will always dislike Golden State because of that, because of a poor memory. And as we know,
it seems to me though, like you and the boss made you wear a dress, not the Golden State Warriors.
Oh no,
Steph didn't go.
All right.
It's Lonzo.
All right, so I don't think you're getting the whole reason why I hate them, because the other guy lost a couple of times and he never paid up. He's a welcher. So when I think of Golden State, I think of welchers. It has nothing to do with Golden State, but I think of welchers. If you're going to take a bet, you pay up on the bet.
So why don't you be mad at that guy, not Steph Curry?
All right, so there are things in life that remind you of things, and Golden State will forever remind me of a welcher, and because of that, I cannot root for them. And Steph Curry needs his binky, and when he gets mad, he throws it into the crowd.
Preferred Home Services text line 71307. Texter says, what was funny about that was Rob was acting like he hasn't seen said photo. I have not. That is a dead fact statement. I have not seen the photo of video. I have not seen in the 2 and almost a half years that I have been in Greenville, South Carolina, working at Odyssey. I have not seen the video nor photo of Lonzo paying off the dress bet. That's what I'd say if I did. That's probably what I'd say if I did.
So you actually think I'm going to go find it? Because I'm not.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, Lonzo does not want me to see it. And by me, I mean the world. All right? He paid off his bet. He owned up to it. And I respect the hell out of Lonzo for it. But there was nowhere in the bet that said you have to let everybody see it after it's done.
Well, the internet is forever, and the video was not agreed upon. That was someone came in the room and did it.
You have to know that's happening. You have to know that's happening.
Didn't have to happen.
You have to know that's happening.
And the sad part is the person who did it took so much joy in it.
Yeah, of course. Listen, the L on the bet is not
if you
wearing
mentioned
the
it
dress,
if you
Lonzo.
mentioned it to her now, and I'm not going to tell you who she is.
I'm about to go ask every she in the building.
If you mention it to her now, she will laugh and she will get this evil look in her eye.
She works here and works on another station. There's only 3 off the top of my head.
Oh, there's more, but they haven't been in the building as much. So
no, you're trying to throw me off the scent now, and I respect that.
She was in the building yesterday.
This is I 100% promise you, Texter.
She was also at the ratings party. The wheels are turning. Look at them.
I'm gonna figure it out. All right. For the record, I've never seen it. The loss is not in wearing a dress. That's not a big deal. The loss is in everybody seeing you wearing a dress for years on the internet. That's the loss. I still have not. But now Lonzo set me down a path I can't recover from. Hour 1 of the books. Hour 2's next on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate. All right. Let's see. Luke says, I've never seen Lonzo, but when I listen to the fan upstate, I just picked him looking like Coach Beard from Ted Lasso, and I mean,
Who is Coach Beard? Is that Sudeikis or is it somebody
no,
else?
it's another guy. But I think it's you sound like him a little bit, and you kind of do. Steven, glad you got your copy of the show, my guy. Sorry, MLB the show. Now we got to hook up and play a little game, man.
Yeah, I think I saw pictures of that or something, Trey. Luke, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
It is.
There's a part of smart that I definitely am. Smart Alec.
We may have to reset the stream because this computer is telling me I have to reset it, and it's giving me a 17-minute postponement window and no option to extend that.
17-minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so if we disappear in the next segment stream, that's where we'll be.
I'm not so sure it will disappear because even though you originated it, I'm logged in. I'm logged in also, and the sound comes through my side. So you might disappear.
If I do, tell my family I love them.
That's not funny.
Here we go. Hour number 2 of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the fan upstate. Hello, upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. Rob Brown, the great one, Lonzo, and you. Phone line's open. You can give us a call at 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FAN-FONE, 844-336-3663. I lost my paper with the phone number on it, and I'm not going to lie, Lonzo, I still don't have it memorized. I should, but I don't. There it is. I was right, 326-3663.
You also have it on your show outline, like at the top. If you
that's right, I did put it there.
That up. Yeah, I just just happened to notice it there.
Yeah, well, I'm a dummy. What do you
Well, after the show, I'll print a real big one.
Oh, I got it right here. Yesterday we did a photo shoot in here. I did a photo shoot because I'm a supermodel.
So you say we, but you mean you.
Yeah, I did a photo shoot in here because I needed more. I needed some action shots, man. I needed some action shots.
Selfies just wasn't doing it for him, so he had to bring in a photographer, a professional photographer.
Correct. Well, we did our school picture day on Monday, right? So what happened?
I don't know if we'll ever get to see those or not.
Yeah.
From what I saw, I didn't like it very much, but that's fine.
Dude, you look dope.
There's one particular that I really want, a couple I want to see, and they rock.
So they gave us school picture day on Monday. Well, last week I had our friend P1 Keegan, friend of the show Keegan, is
really
a photographer.
I've never met him before.
Shut up, Alonso. So friend of the show Keegan, I had picked up a photo shoot from him a while back, but I wanted to wait for the right time because scheduling. Anyway, last week I was like, "Hey boss, am I good to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead, but school picture day is next Monday. We're going to get professional headshots done." I was like, "Well, I was too, but instead I'll just do something fun instead." Anyway, we did our school picture show on Monday. And we did professional headshots, professional full body shots, whatever. And then they said, "We want you guys to do like a show picture, like a fun show picture." So Lonzo and I walked in. I brought one of my black electric guitars and slung it over the shoulder. Lonzo brought in a keytar.
Ain't nothing more 80s than a keytar,
Nope.
man.
Nope. Why? Because this show is rock and roll as hell. That's why. And nerdy, but also both. Anyway, hour number 2 of the show. Let's start with this. Mainly because I don't think there's going to be a lot of heat to this story yet. Deshaun Watson has begun meeting with NFL investigators this week as the league moves closer to concluding its probe into sexual misconduct and assault allegations against the now Cleveland Browns quarterback, former Houston Texans quarterback, former Clemson Tiger quarterback. Yahoo Sports broke this story yesterday and cited 2 different sources. One source said, quote, "It is safe to assume that the NFL will be interviewing Deshaun at great length in the near future." Now, the NFL has already repeatedly declined to comment on its investigation into Deshaun Watson. Both sources, according to Yahoo Sports, said the league still has not indicated a timeline for closing its probe or a decision on a potential suspension for Deshaun Watson. However, in previous cases involving allegations of sexual assault or misconduct, the league's interview with the accused has typically been one of the final pieces of information gathered before rendering a suspension judgment. We know that Deshaun faces 22 civil lawsuits and began sitting for depositions in several of those cases last month. We do know that league investigators have already interviewed several women who have made allegations and filed civil suits against Watson. They could be requested for further interviews following Watson's meeting with the league as well. Once the interviews are completed, the NFL will review the investigation and decide on the next step. Under the latest CBA, and this comes from Yahoo Sports as well, under the latest collective bargaining agreement, the question of whether Watson violated the league's personal conduct policy is ultimately expected to be weighed by former U.S. District Court Judge Sue Robinson. Robinson has been chosen by the NFL and the Players Association to act as an impartial arbitrator in disciplinary cases such as Deshaun's. But the NFL must first determine whether it believes Watson violated the policy. The steps in the league's probe are expected to fall into one of a couple of different potential categories. One is that the NFL just believes there's no conduct policy violation, in which case there's no discipline on the table. 2, the NFL finds a violation of the personal conduct policy occurred, and it forwards those findings to the arbitrator. 3, if applicable, the arbitrator weighs the evidence presented by the NFL and determines no personal conduct policy violation occurred. Watson would face no punishment. And per the collective bargaining agreement, the NFL cannot appeal this decision from the arbitrator, or the last possibility on the table, which is that the independent arbitrator weighs the evidence presented by the NFL and determines a violation of the personal conduct policy did occur. The arbitrator can then determine the punishment rendered for the infraction. If the NFL disagrees with the punishment rendered, the league can appeal it to Commissioner Roger Goodell, who then makes a final determination on any punishment, which could range from a suspension to a monetary fine. Now, Deshaun hopes that obviously A, the NFL does not find anything. B, if they do find anything, that when it gets to the arbitrator goes, yeah, not great, but he didn't violate the policy. This is over and done with, in which case it's over and done with. C, if it does go to the arbitrator and if she does find that there has been a violation of the personal conduct policy, that she will then hand down a punishment for Deshaun that the league finds fitting. The league finds acceptable. Because if she hands down something that the league does not find fitting and it goes to Roger Goodell, that is where the hammer comes down. If the ginger hammer gets the hammer, that is where Deshaun faces the biggest problem. Not just because Roger Goodell is going to protect the legacy of the Shield at all costs, including the career of Deshaun Watson, but because if the NFL turns down or does not accept the initial punishment from the arbitrator, That, Lonzo, means the NFL owners believe that Deshaun Watson deserves more. And who does Roger Goodell ultimately represent?
Yeah, that's his boss. There's something that I believe called perception punishment. And perception punishment is going to have to be more than probably whatever the arbitrator says, because of the perception of guilt and how it will look on the league if he's not punished, at least by them. So, and the NFL has been in trouble in the past because they've seemed to go lenient on certain things, at least as far as public opinion goes. So what is perception punishment for this particular crime? He's got to at least be gone a year, doesn't he?
Well, the first question, a couple of things here. Number one, I have a problem with the premise to some degree.
Well, I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm not saying that it should be done that way. I'm just saying when you have a multi-billion-dollar business or however much it makes, you're going to kowtow. I don't know what the right word is. You're going to try to appease as much of the fan base as you can.
So the promise I have with the premise isn't that it shouldn't be done that way, because I got no problem with that premise. The problem I have with the premise here is and I'm not saying you are doing this, but I know there are people that are. The problem with the premise I have is that presenting it that way makes it seem as if Deshaun has done nothing wrong and whatever punishment comes down is a perception punishment. And I don't think it is yet, right?
Yeah, but some of those people will say, well, he wasn't found guilty in the court of law.
Sure.
So that means he's innocent, which is not always the case.
Right.
And I don't know either way, by the way. I will say it doesn't look good.
Oh, it looks real bad.
Yeah. And because it doesn't look good, they're going to come down hard on it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks real bad. And again, some of the Instagram direct messages have leaked. And the forget all of that. The situation itself looks bad, yeah? Like the situation of hiring random ass, definitely not masseuse women off the internet to come and give him rub downs multiple times throughout his career. It's a bad look.
See, multiple makes it sound like 2 or 3, but it was like 40.
Dozens and dozens of times, right? At least 3 dozen times. At least. Got almost 2 dozen lawsuits caught off of it. It's a bad look, sure. The problem that I have is the perception, the labeling it as a perception punishment, because it lets folks get away with nothing wrong happened here. They're just punishing Deshaun because it looks bad. And we don't know that that's the case or not, right? Now, the problem for Deshaun is that if it gets to that point, Roger Goodell represents the owners. So if the NFL appeals the punishment handed down by the arbitrator and the punishment ends up in the hands of Roger Goodell, that means that the NFL owners were not happy with the initial punishment in the first place. They want a stricter punishment. They want a harsher punishment. And if they want a stricter, harsher punishment, and Roger Goodell's the guy who gets to label it, Deshaun getting the hammer brought down, right? Now, this does not mean, because somebody said, oh, we're approaching the end of this. I don't necessarily think we are, right? Because they've done the interviews with the women. They've done the interviews with the outside parties involved in these lawsuits. Those interviews are done. Now they interviewed Deshaun. But in interviewing Deshaun, they're going to go, what happened? Give us your side. Share with us whatever evidence and information you have. Give us everything you got. And if Deshaun comes back with a bunch of stories that say, you know, this, that, and the other happened, and this is when, and they don't match up with the stories given by the women, they may go back to the women for interview number 2 and go, okay, you told us X, Deshaun told us Y. Can you prove that it was X so that we can call Deshaun a liar? right? They're going to do a follow-up. They're going to do a follow-up. They are going to follow up with the women to check their stories against Deshaun's, make sure the info adds up, and if it does not end up, find out who is mistaken or is a liar. This thing is long from over from Deshaun. And because of the fact that they are about to interview, by the way, all of that, we don't know how long the interviews with Deshaun Watson are going to take, right? They might take, there are 22 lawsuits the NFL is going to want to walk through. And that's if they only want to walk through the cases with the lawsuits. Remember, Ben Roethlisberger settled his suit, his one, and it took a while for that punishment to come down, right? Took a while for that punishment to come down. So, we've still got to get through the interviews with Deshaun. Once the interviews with Deshaun are over, there is possibly, I would say likely, going to be another round of interviews with the women. Once those are completed, then the NFL will bring in the arbitrator to take a look at everything and say, here's our investigation. Here's what we found. We believe that blank. Agree or disagree. And even that is not the end of the process. Then the arbitrator has to rule. If she rules that no violation happened, then it's over. But if she rules that one did, then she hands down a punishment. If the NFL accepts the punishment, then it's over. If it doesn't, it goes back to Roger Goodell's office. If Roger Goodell lays out a big-time punishment, let's say Roger Goodell's like, yo, we suspended Big Ben half a season for one. You got 22. You're out for another, like you're out for a full year. You think the Cleveland Browns aren't going to try to appeal that to get the guy they just paid $250 million guaranteed the ability to play? Still might not be over. This thing could very well go into the regular season. Hey, Bake, I wouldn't pack up the Browns jersey just yet. Let's take a break. Come back here in just a minute. When we do, we are going to be joined by the head coach of the Greenville Liberty. They play their first game coming up on Friday evening at Legacy Early College. Julie Carlson is going to join us on the show next. Very excited about talking to her. Find out what we're going to see on the pitch on Friday evening. That's all coming up next on The Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
So you've decided today's the day you're going to do it. You are going to lose weight. But now you need to figure out, okay, I know I need to lose weight. Your friends, your family, your coworkers have been waiting for this moment when you finally decided, because you got to make the decision on your own. But now you got to figure out, how do you do it? What is the best direction to go in? Well, let me tell you about the Health Dare. With the Health Dare, you're going to lose weight in 30 days, guaranteed, or your money back. And it's not some starvation thing. It's not a diet. It's a plan. It's a simple plan, a plan that anyone can do. Diets rarely work. Simple plans work every time when they are executed. And you can do this because, like I said, it's very simple. And the cool part about the Health Dare, you're not going to be hungry. You can eat the food that's in your fridge. You don't have to step a toe inside of a gym. You can also bring someone with you, because it's buy one, get one free, which means you're going to save some money by bringing somebody with you, a family member, a coworker, even your spouse. You can bring one of those people with you. You pay half, they pay half. You guys both get the program. You both get healthy from a cellular level. You're going to look good. You're going to feel good. You have energy to face the day. Look at that beautiful day outside. Don't you want to get out in it? Well, it's time to lose that weight so you can get out and be the you you've always wanted to be, or the you used to be. And here's how you get started with the Health Dare. Just go to idareme.com, fill out some information, and one of the Health Dare coaches will bring you in for a free consultation, get you on the way to losing that weight. And don't forget, it is buy one, get one free. Go to idareme.com today. And when you're there, make sure you tell them that Lonzo dared you. It will be a problem if it cuts out. Oh, you'll still be able to hear her, though.
No, it said it'll restart in an hour and 57 minutes, so we should be okay.
Yay. So who did the background? Did Keegan do that, or did you do that? The one that has our stuff on it.
This
No,
background?
no. The normal one. That one. That one. The fan, all that.
Oh
stuff.
no, corporate did that.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keegan did the old one, the purple one with our names on it.
The reason why I'm asking is, can you suggest that they give us a 3-panel and a 4-panel that says guest in the bottom, or
I'm gonna ask. Well, we have one for 3-panel.
does it say? It just gets rid of the names.
It just gives rid of
Okay.
names.
All right. 4-panel just covers everything up, so there's no way around that. Well, we've got about a minute. They ain't like you're not going to know when she's there. I mean,
Apparently she was having some trouble with the link, but she should be here in a second. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. We're going to be joined here in mere moments by the head coach of your brand new USLW League women's professional soccer team, the Greenville Liberty. Coach Julie Carlson will be joining us here in just a minute, having a little issue getting up on the stream, but she'll be joining us in just a minute. We'll talk with her. Friday evening, the Greenville Liberty have their very first home match. They went on the road and got a dub to open up the season just a couple of days ago, last week. But coming up on Friday, they get the first home match underway. Very much looking forward to that. And now we're all set up and ready to go. You know, technology, Coach Julie Carlson, it makes our lives better and stresses me out at the same time. Welcome back, Coach. Good to have you.
Thanks, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you
Awesome.
just fine. Absolutely. Let's start with this. We're home. I mean, great win, and I want to talk about our inaugural win last weekend, but the ladies set to dress out in front of the home crowd for the first time. How's it feel? How are we feeling this week?
Oh, we feel good. The energy is just really high. We've had great numbers in training, and the kids are just totally psyched. I think they're really pumped about the atmosphere and the game coming up on Friday.
One thing that I'm really intrigued by from the makeup of this team is that you have a lot of girls that have some sort of tie to the upstate, right? They've played at Furman, they've played at Clemson, etc. So when we talk local professional sports, there's a lot of girls that cut their teeth right here in the community. Your technical staff is made up of some young ladies that are from this community. You guys have incredible close roots to Greenville, to the upstate. So for you to be able to have that connection and play your first game with that connection at Legacy early, how does that juice you guys up?
Oh, juicing is an interesting term, but yeah, I think we're just, the blood's just flowing. The morale is really high. I think there's just been so much hype on having a women's team here to display talent, and the talent that's come into the upstate, that's been developed through the upstate, but also been brought into the upstate through the recruiting process by the local colleges and programs. And just, Greenville is such a wonderful place to just live and raise a family. And we have so many young girls that are inspiring to be like these women. And I think just that camaraderie behind that and the support behind these women, and they know that. I think they've seen it, they feel it, they see it with each other. To have a group of women who obviously some play together year round and some don't even know each other until they walked into the door here, and just the morale and the camaraderie and the positivity and that energy of just being very confident right now. And that was what we really were trying to set our sights to have that goal, to give them a culture and a climate and an environment that they could put a wonderful product of quality soccer out on the stage for people to see here in the upstate.
Julie Carlson is the head coach of the Greenville Liberty. Their first home match is going to be this Friday evening at Legacy Early College. Looking forward very much to being in the stadium for that. Talk to me, Coach, a little bit about that, and then we'll switch and actually talk some football. But, I've said a number of times, one of my favorite things about going to the Triumph games over the last couple of years is to watch the kids, right? The young ones, the little league players, the middle school and high school players that are watching these guys play professional soccer and get to represent the community. And I've watched kids playing pickup out in the yard past the field, and I want to be Tyler, or I want to be Brandon, or I want to be Jake, right? And kind of like we used to do with NFL players, they're getting to do with guys in their backyard. And now you guys open up that same opportunity for the young women in the upstate, the girl soccer players in the upstate who now have the ability to not just say, I've got women's soccer, but right here in my own backyard are these girls that I can grow up to be like and be a professional and have that opportunity. How much does that matter to you and for women's sports, women's soccer here in the upstate?
Oh, it matters to me at such a huge level. When we played the exhibition game against the Bantams, and to see all these young girls with their faces all painted up, and they made signs for a couple of the players that work with them outside of this process at 11:11, and cheering those women on, and then signing autographs with the Girl Scouts. I think that just provides such a huge role model environment for our players to really connect with the youth. It's one thing, we have so many great college programs outside of the Greenville area that we can go and see play, but to have it right here downtown, to really be able, I guess it's one of these, it's like shopping. It's like the touch and feel of a new shirt or a pair of shoes. Now they can actually embrace in person these women who are playing at such a high level and very professional in what they do, and play the game so well. And so I think for the youth, for these young women to be able to see that, just gives them hope, and gives them confidence to now be able to identify with someone here locally that they want to aspire to.
I love it. And you mentioned the shopping and being able to see and touch and feel. A few weeks ago, when the Liberty name and shield debuted just around the corner at Habitat, I happened to be in the building for that. And I think what blew me away the most about that, Coach, about that event as a whole, was the energy behind it. I mean, I was talking with people who showed up and were going, look how many people are here, right? Look how many people have turned out. And that you guys set up a merch table with T-shirts and hats and magnets and scarves, and the line to buy merch was wrapped around the entire bar. It kind of blew me away, because I would say that's a great reception for the debut of any local professional team. And here's the Greenville Liberty that have packed this bar out. When you got to see that and that response and the number of people that turned out for that and have translated into people who were chomping at the bit to be in the stadium Friday, what does that mean to you to be the first-year coach of this brand new team, but one team that clearly has a bunch of fan support behind it already?
It's such an honor. And I mean, listening to you explain that picture at Habitat, I just got chills on my arms and my legs. So, it's just this very humbling moment. It's sometimes it's hard to it's like, it's hard to describe, it's surreal. And for me, and to look around, I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me is that the players that were there that are going to be a part of this, that have already played and in some these first two matches, the smiles on their faces, the high fives, the energy, just the talking good football shop, and having the support of the men's program there, and then even the men's team wearing the Liberty T-shirt at their game and representing us and making us welcome, I think is just par for the course of where the women's game has grown, and how in just a small town like Greenville that's prospering so much, that this women's sport has been really engaged here in the upstates. And sometimes I don't have the words to really explain how I feel, but it has been an absolute honor, and I've treasured every moment that I get with this opportunity, for sure.
I love it. Coach Julie Carlson of the Greenville Liberty joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. All right, let's talk footy, Coach. Getting fans in the door is awesome. I have said for years, the best way to keep fans to solve problems is to go win. We have watched the women's team at the international level be the standard bearer for women's soccer internationally, and it is, I would say, unfairly or not, one of the few sports that you will see men wearing women's jerseys, right? Like we've all, like the Hope Solo jerseys back in the day, the Alex Morgan jerseys, the Megan Rapinoe jerseys. These girls became figureheads of international sports for the Americans. We're looking to do the same thing with the Liberty on the local level here in Greenville. So a 4-2 win over Charlotte last week. Can you walk me through a little bit about what you saw out of your team in their first regular season win that you want to translate over to Friday night?
Well, one of the big things we talk about in training is just game readiness, right? So from the warm up to the first passing activity we do in training, is just the mindset, being in a good headspace and game readiness. So when you step out on the field, whether you're in a 10,000 seat stadium or 1,000 seats or grass or turf or rain or shine, it's game readiness, and really trying to make sure that they're in a good mindset. And it starts with the warm up. It's simple, and it seems so simple, but one of the things that we knew when the players stepped foot and just started their warm up, you could just tell just their focus, their game faces were on and they were set. And when you're mixing so many different players and personalities together, it's totally a different kind of recipe. You really don't know how it's going to taste at the end. So they really just stepped out, they performed, they executed the game plan. And I compliment this group of young women because they've been very good at we keep the game very simple. We're trying to create a less is more environment with the information that we provide them, and then allow them to bring the game to them. And I thought they've embraced the game really well, and adapted to, different environments. But they finished really good opportunities. I have to laugh. We had the Bantams, we had like 30 some shots, and we went on an own goal, and then we go up to Charlotte. We don't have even near as many shots, and we score 4, and some great finishes. The other thing we talk about is the value and the importance of restarts and set pieces. So, from a football standpoint, the value of a throw in is actually a pass. And 2 of our goals came from starting from throw-ins, in the final third, and being able to execute an opportunity in and around the goal area out of a throw-in. Megan Bornkamp, she steps up to the plate, takes ownership on the penalty kick. Debem DK can get behind. She's so fast and dangerous in that regard, and can create issues. And so it is a little bit of chess from the standpoint of maneuvering and moving players around to create ways to execute what the team's giving you or not giving you from an opponent standpoint. So I just think they did a great job of taking hold and taking the reins from their first season opener. It's always hard to win on the road in any sport, and to be able to take a penalty and score 3 goals at the end, where you got all the Charlotte, hoopla fans going with all their flags and stuff and screaming all kinds of stuff at you. I thought they did a very good job of being mature and taking ownership of the game. And I think that's something you're going to see on Friday for sure.
I love it. Coach Julie Carlson of the Greenville Liberty here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Coach, we got another minute or two with you, and I wanted to ask you kind of got it into it a little bit there, but I wanted to ask you a little bit about your coaching style, especially now that you've gotten to see the girls in action a couple of times in live gameplay. One of my criticisms of Greg Berhalter, at the men's international level is it's very formulatic, and I feel like the players almost get in robotics. Like, this is your spot, this is what you do. But a lot of English football managers have made that a successful way of managing. And then you've got the other side of it, which is very South American, very Latin style of game, where it's a lot of rhythm and a lot of movement, and nothing's really written down. It's more feel of the game. On that scale, where would you say you would prefer your team to play, and have you seen them have a tendency or a preference between those two so far?
Yeah, we've talked about 2 formations, 4-3-3, 3-5-2, how to interchange out of that. Also how to adjust when certain roles on the field are in attacking, having attacking moments, and making sure we're securing space underneath the ball. We have about 3 or 4 players who are extremely good on the dribble. Carly Thatcher, Caroline Conti, Christian Brathwaite. And one of the things that I know in the women's game that I've seen a little bit is just penetrating space on the dribble. You don't see. It's a very passing oriented game that we see in the women's side. On the men's side, you see a lot more players take a little bit more selfish responsibility and dribble and try to do a little bit more of the dribbling pieces within the attacking third. And we had players do that against Charlotte. Carly Thatcher was excellent at it, as far as just seeing open space, seeing ways to penetrate just off the dribble, and utilizing the tool, as simple as it sounds, the ability to dribble and to dribble out of pressure and dribble away from players, that ended up creating great moments and great opportunities in the attacking third. And that's something that we are trying to talk a little bit more about, is finding moments, hey, when to pass, when to control tempo, when to keep it simple, but also when to penetrate, and when to take players on off the dribble, getting in line, making sure we're getting something out of those moments in the final third. And so, but you'll see interchanging movement. You'll see some interchanging to try to go from one system to another, and getting them to understand that, and being able to do that and take ownership of that as players within the game. And that's, you see that sometimes on the men's side, sometimes that you're right. It is very robotic. but we have such good personality on this team that we want to be able to allow them to bring that on stage.
Coach Julie Carlson of the Greenville Liberty. Last one, Coach, and then we'll let you go because I know you got a lot to get ready for before now on Friday. You talked a minute ago about the game at Charlotte and how having Charlotte fans behind the goal waving flags and beating drums and chanting, how it takes a mature team to be able to get over that. But I assume the inverse is true in that having your fans behind the goal, popping smoke and waving flags and beating the drums can have a positive impact. We've talked to John Harkes about this in the past, about how much it's meant to have a full supporter section going as loud as they can for the Triumph. For you, in your experience, how big will it be for the Greenville Liberty to have 110 back there behind you with the flags and the banners and the smoke and the drums? How much of an impact directly can supporters, can fans have on a game by showing up and buying in for the Liberty?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I mean, the comment I make to the kids is like, this is as close to pro as you can get, you know, because there's so many restrictions in the NCAA about horns and noise and smoke and all this other stuff. And so, you know, you guys are creating an environment. Beating Charlotte draws the environment even bigger for them on a Friday night. And they see it at the men's games. A lot of these women have been coming out to the men's games, and they see that enthusiasm and seeing the 110 out there and just embracing it. And they just know that those guys are behind them 100%. They saw it at the Habitat with those guys showing up at the reveal and just coming out. And I just think that energy is going to be so positive. And I think, as we all know, in a professional sport, when you have that kind of fan base, that just drives the energy, that drives the pressure to, if you're down a goal or if you're up a goal, to make sure you're sustaining and finding a way to come back because of what you represent, something bigger than yourself.
Julie Carlson is the head coach of your Greenville Liberty. They will be at home for the very first time this Friday evening. Cannot wait to be there. I will actually be doing, Coach, the play-by-play for that game. My first soccer play-by-play. So will you do me a favor? 6-7 goals. Let me get into a little bit. If you don't mind, just tell the girls.
Yes, sir. I will tell you this. I would rather win a game 4-2 than 1-0 any day of the week.
I love it. Bring the energy. Let's get a little offense going.
Yes,
Coach,
right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's great to have you on for the first of what I'm assuming will be many times. Great luck to you guys on Friday. We will be there, and we'll have the wrap up next week. Thanks again.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me. Have a great
Always.
day to you and your crew. Appreciate it.
There you go. Go Liberty. Listen to Coach. Appreciate it. Good to have Coach Julie Carlson join us here on the show. Let's take a break. We are back right after this. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. You're you. This is the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. I just realized that we can move it. So if we ever switch like 2 to 3, 3 to 4 background for the guest or whatever, our dual screen is now at the top of the background thing. So we don't have to hunt for it. It's just there. Trey, I got your email. The Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt 2022 has gotten a number of submissions this week.
Yay!
Yeah. We need to do a quick update. Is it evil of me, Lonzo, to get my almost 5-year-old nephew into Legos now?
Your brother makes decent money, so not evil at all.
I don't think it is, right? I think it's genuine. I want him to have a passion, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
Sports Radio, and our Twitter handle is @CBS Sports Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate. Thanks again to Julie Carlson, head coach of the Greenville Liberty. They get their first game going coming up this Friday evening, Legacy Early College. And Rob Brown will be on the play-by-play for that game, Lonzo. A little soccer play-by-play for your boy. I've been doing this 15 years. I've done baseball. I've done basketball. I've done football. I have done track and field. Funny enough, the one sport that I want to do play-by-play and I have not gotten the opportunity to do until now is soccer.
I just want to say you guys found out when I found out. So, I'm not surprised that you're getting to do that. And that's awesome. And I'm sure you're going to do a great job. You already host a national, syndicated show.
That is true.
You can do soccer too. You're just like everywhere.
I mean, I'm trying my best to be, My goal is to be in enough places that you guys, even the ones who like me, are sick of me in the sports world. That's the goal. But thanks to Doug Irwin for setting that up. I called Doug yesterday. I'm like, can we get Coach on the show? Like, I feel like we need Coach on the show, right? He's like, done. What time? 10:20? 10:20. And by the way, for those of you that are not watching the stream, you want to talk about why it is that or how big it is to me to be part of the local sports community. Lonzo, we didn't just have Coach Julie Carlson of the Greenville Liberty join us on the show. Did you see on the stream where she was?
Yeah, I did.
Legit in the locker room.
And I heard the acoustics from it too, so yeah.
She was like, hang on, girls. I know we're midst training here, but I got to pop on with Rob and Lonzo, do a little interview. Literally just took her computer outside of the locker room door, popped in, put in the headphones, did the interview with us. That's how we roll, son. That's how we roll. Thanks to Coach Carlson. Thanks to Doug for getting that set up. And, of course, as always, thanks to the entire Liberty/Triumph group. I had to tell you, I've been a lot of places. I've been saying this since I moved here, Lonzo. I have lived a lot of places. I have never been in a place that has as many professional clubs who give as much of a rip as the clubs we have here do about the community, about their fans, right? This isn't just, hey, guys, buy tickets. This is, we want this city to thrive. We want the sports in this city to thrive. How do we make that happen? And they keep showing up and showing out to make it happen. So thanks again to them, to Doug, to Joe, to Chris, to John Harks, the head coach, to Coach Carlson, to all of them. They do that with us as often as they do to make sure that you guys get the coverage you want and the coverage you deserve. And we appreciate it greatly. All right. Coming up in the next segment of the show, next hour of the show, we got a Stanley Cup date as we had a couple of game ones last night. The center of the hockey world, ladies and gentlemen, is the Sunshine State of Florida. And we had a great matchup between Florida and Tampa Bay last night. We'll break that down. Plus, Colorado and St. Louis went late into the night, and they decided to keep the heart rates up. Break those two games down, plus get you set up and go on the record for our Western Conference Game 1 projection in the NBA. I got a few more ridiculous stories to walk you through as well. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. We got a tremendous third hour for you coming up next. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Oh, by the way, you know what I do have to update as soon as we come back? The Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt 2022. Because I doubled the amount of submissions to the Mullet Hunt this week already. I'm going to tell you about it when we come back on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate.
Well, whatever. Let's
Yep.
just do another hour.
Okay. Sure, I guess we'll do another hour, Lonzo. I didn't really have anything anything better to do today. I didn't really have anything else to do today. So let's just do another hour of sports talk excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, and Lonzo, I have an update for the great mullet hunt of 2022. Because
he didn't mean that I'm other than a lady or a gentleman. It's just the commas were in the wrong place.
I have received multiple mullet submissions this week. Now, Lonzo and I are going to take a look at these mullets and have a little fun here on the show with them. But we are not the official judges of the Great Mullet Hunt of 2022. You will all receive your scores at the end of the mullet hunt, along with the winner of the Fan Upstate hat and shirt matching set. We got this one. This one comes from our buddy Trey. Now, all mulleted individuals shall remain anonymous. Their identities shall be hidden unless we get exclusive permission from them to use them. But the mullet shall be graded nonetheless. Trey sent us in a mullet that he snapped of a coworker, Lonzo. A coworker. I don't know if you can see this. But he said he had to go covert. He crept up on him to get the photo. Here's the mullet itself in action from the side, Lonzo. There's the mullet from the back. So we've got Trey actually submitted a front, side, and rear view of the mullet. I'm going to go ahead and say I respect the commitment from Trey. He's like, let me make sure I get the mullet in 360 degrees of spectacularness here. And he did. So there's the front. There's the side. There's the back. Now, Trey also got the mullet submitted with the, I would say, Zoe, that's a solid mullet environment that he has contributed here to the show as well.
Without a doubt. It is. A natural environment,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
almost say. Yes.
I would absolutely say. So, Lonzo, if you were to assign this mullet from Trey a grade, 5 for quality of mullet, 5 points up to for environment of mullet, what would your mullet grade be here for Trey? Remember, this is not an on-the-record score. This is just me and Zoe having fun. The judges will submit your official scores.
Yeah. My score doesn't count. Environment, all that, I'm going to go with 5 because you're right. That's great.
A great environment.
I'm going to go with a 3.5 for the mullet. And
Really?
and here's a reason why. Because it's too bushy on top.
Okay.
And that's just me because the whole
It's a little more party than business.
yeah,
on the top.
because the whole point is business in the front, and business in the front also means the top because the top is visible.
Sure.
Depending on height and all that kind of stuff, but the top is visible. It's a little bushy on top. Then if you can't see the back, let's say the back is in a ponytail, the top becomes a pompadour, which is not very businesslike.
Becomes a pompadour. All right. We got this one from Robert. Now, Robert sent in this mullet a couple of days ago. Robert sent this one in, and I feel like we can identify because this is family. Bobby sent this in of his father-in-law at his birthday party.
Are we
Now,
sure the father-in-law is down with this?
I'm not naming the father-in-law.
Okay, all right.
And I'm not giving Bobby's last name. I'm just saying a gentleman named Bobby in Greenville sent in a picture he claims is of his father's-in-law at his birthday party. I'm going to say it's a good – this is an aged mullet.
It is.
Not in terms of the person, in terms of the actual haircut. This was at one point a dedicated mullet that has gone to, but I'm also the rhythm guitarist in a rock and roll band.
Well, yeah, and here's the other thing: when you get older, your hair doesn't grow as fast.
Sure.
So maybe you got a little bit of a trim on the back part, on the party part, and it just hasn't come back as fast as you wanted to. So you can see where it once was. I can see it down to his shoulders.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And this gentleman has a longer neck also, and with a longer neck. The deal with that, it may make the mullet not seem as full as it normally would. So maybe I'm a little bit off when I first looked at it because I didn't realize the length of the neck. You know, if you don't have a neck, your mullet looks full on. But if you got a decent and muscular looking neck, I'm not. You know, he looks like he's in shape. So, but that made the length of the back seem shorter than what I originally thought it was.
Now, we have from Jordan what I believe to be the clubhouse leader. I am winning this, but that's only because I have now submitted 2 mullets. Nobody else has. But amongst those who can win, Lonzo, I'm going to go ahead and say I think we have our first 10-point submission here from Jordan. Now, Jordan said he's got permission from his boy Travis to submit. And by the way, if you want us to name and pay homage to the mullet holder you were submitting, we need their permission to do so. Jordan sent in this mullet with the caption, "I'm Jordan. This is my boy Travis's mullet. He's about that life 24/7. Enjoy, boys." Now, he submitted 3 pictures of the mullet. I am only going to consider and submit one of them. One of them is showing how much about that mullet life his boy is. Perming out the mullet to make sure that it is fully mulleted.
Yeah, but are we okay with it being staged? This is obviously, I think this may be being staged.
That's in a salon. That is salon equipment there. Nobody got this in a house.
Yeah, people do have
That's
those.
in a salon.
People can have those in their houses. I don't see multiples there. But there is the magazine rack to his right.
Sure.
I can't see what magazine he's reading from here.
That would be Tea Time magazine.
Okay, so
Yep.
do golfers have mullets?
Oh, you can absolutely. Absolutely. Your boy Cameron from Australia. What's his name? That's his name. I forgot his name from the last
Doesn't
tournament.
matter. Okay, it's mullet.
Yeah.
It's Cameron Mullet.
Yeah.
And then Fleetwood had
Now-
one for a while, and then he betrayed us
Now,
all.
this is the setup picture, Lonzo. Setup picture. 2, the 2 that we have to pick which one we submit on behalf of Jordan. Here's picture number 1, Lonzo.
Oh, that's it.
That's
yeah.
10-point mullet,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's the one. I think
That's a 5-point quality mullet. My man is standing on a bass boat in thigh-exposing American flag board shorts, chugging down a bush light on the lake. That's a 10-point mullet. This is
And no
the
offense
clubhouse
when I
leader.
say this, but probably couldn't get a tan if he tried.
No.
So that helps.
Now,
that absolutely
he
helps.
also submitted so that there is a follow-up. I don't think it was needed, but my man mulleted it
Oh, check
in
out
the
the
garage
vehicle. Yes.
with what I believe is the TA in the background.
Which is what you wanted.
That's it.
I'm not sure that's a Trans Am, but it could be.
And no, you know what that is? I think that's Pontiac Firebird.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
that's Firebird, which is fine. With the giant American flag on the back of the garage wall and the Liberty and Freedom t-shirt, right? The only problem I have with this picture is that t-shirt still has sleeves on it. That's it. I would say this is 9 points.
Yeah, but that might have been his business T-shirt.
It might be.
You
Might be.
You got to keep those proper.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to go, this is the picture that gets submitted, yeah? This
yeah,
is the one of the 2?
you got to go with that
That's
for sure.
10-point mullet.
Yeah,
It's 10-point mullet.
I completely agree. I don't know about the guys down the hall, but I expect them to agree with us on that.
That's a 10-point mullet. I don't know if they will, and we do not, for the record, we are not guiding. We are not influencing.
Yeah, as if we could.
Right. They don't listen to anything we have to say about anything else in the world. Why would they hear? We do not guide, influence, or try to sway the judges in any way, shape, or form. But should you wish to enter the Great Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt of 2022, all you have to do is snap the picture of the mullet in person. It has to be current, and it has to be public. Okay? Here are the rules. You are going to snap a picture of the mullet. You are going to submit it to my email address at rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. You are going to submit your best photo of that mullet. All right? Now, you may submit multiple photos, but then Lonzo and I are going to look through them, pick the best one, and submit to our 3 judges on the other side of the building. Your mullet is going to be judged on 2 categories. Number 1, the quality of the mullet. That is worth up to 5 points. Number 2, the environment in which the mullet is caught. That is up to 5 points. If you just catch a mullet standing on the side of the road, you're probably going to get a point or 2 environment. Now, that's not to say it's not worth still capturing and submitting, because you will be adding mullet by mullet points to your total. You submit 1 mullet, the most you can score in the competition is 10 points. You submit 2 mullets, you can score up to 20. 3 mullets, 30, 4 mullets, 40. You know how numbers work, right? Every mullet you submit will get you a score between 0 and 10 points. Okay? 0 and 10 points. From the 0 to 10 points, you will add another 0 to 10 every time you submit another mullet. Our scores are being determined by a set of judges on the other side of the building, all who have immaculate qualifications to judge hairdos. Once they write me back and go, this mullet's worth this many points, I will add your points together. We will take the average score, and this is where it gets fun because decimals will be involved. We will take the average score between our 3 judges. So if you get 2 10s and a 9, you've got a 9.66 score, right? We will take your average scores. We will add them all together at the end of the Great Mullet Hunt, which, by the way, is over, Lonzo, in 12 days. You got 2 weeks left to hunt mullet, okay? We have got, I believe, 6 people in the competition so far. I'm not going to lie. I expected better participation. I did. I'm at 6 people, not including myself.
By the way, here's a little tip, little photographer tip. If you are concerned about perhaps the person that you're taking a picture of getting angry, just take a selfie, because you get extra points for being in it anyway. Just angle your selfie in a way where you get a good shot of that mullet in the background, and there you go. And if dude or madam come up to you and say, "Hey, why'd you take my picture?" and you say, "No, I was taking a selfie."
Yeah, but what was I in it? Dude, I was just sending a picture of my whatever. Relax. Listen, 1 point bonus for being in the picture with the mullet. Okay? You get a point bonus for being in it. Now, you're going, wait, 1 point? First off, if you get 1 point for every mullet, that is a 10% advantage. I will tell you that our first 10-point mullet did not include a selfie of the submitter. So the best they can do is 10. You go catch a 10-point mullet and get yourself in it, that's 11 points. You got them beat already. All right? 1 point might be the difference in this. The Great Mullet Hunt is on. You may catch your mullets anywhere in the upstate, but they must be current, okay? They must be current. You catch a mullet that is current, you submit it. 5 points for the environment, 5 points for the quality of mullet, a bonus point if you are in. Our 3 judges will submit their scores. I will take the average score between the 3 of them. That will be your official score for that mullet. We will add the score of every mullet you submit. So every mullet you submit adds to your total. I've gotten 6 so far. No one has submitted more than a single mullet. The first one of those 6 that submits a second mullet automatically go into the clubhouse lead, right? Winner is going to get, by the way, the only hat and the Fan Upstate hat and shirt combination matching. You can either do the silver shirt with the silver trucker hat or the blue shirt with the blue baseball cap. You will be the only person who does not work for the Fan Upstate who has the matching combo. Nobody else does. All right? Nobody else does. So, go catch your mullet in public. Send it to me at rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. And we will announce the winner at the end of Mullet May. The end of Mullet May, the Great Mullet Hunt 2022, presented by The Rob Brown Show, is on. Submit your wild caught mullets to rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. Got 2 really, really good entries there, Lonzo. 1 definite 10-pointer. 1 I'm going to say is an 8 or a 9. I think we got some competition going.
But, we don't know what the Russian judge is going to do because you just never know where they're going to go with it. And maybe you are an MMA fan like I am. There's always that one that scores something, 10-8 or something like that. And you're like, what world were they looking at? So you've got a shot at this. But you know what? You can't win if you don't enter.
That's it.
They say that all the time, but it's the truth.
And by the way, so for the record, if you catch a mullet that you're like, oh, that's like a 6-point mullet, 7-point mullet, right? Hey, 2 6s beat a 10, right?
They do.
2 6s beat a 10.
They have to be different people, though. It can't be the same.
Correct.
person.
You can't submit the same mullet more than once. But 2 6s beat a 10. So it's not, this is as much about, I'm going to say, Lonzo, it's as much about quantity of mullet as it is quality of mullet. Now, if 2 different people submit the same mullet, you both get credit for that mullet. You'll both get your points. Now, keep in mind, environment comes into play here because they're going to likely end up with an identical score on quality of mullet. You're fishing for environment here. But if you go out and you catch 3 6-point mullets, that's going to be 2 8-point mullets, right? It's about quantity, as quality is great, but this is about quantity as well. If you want to win this thing, I'm going to tell you right now, as a guy who is sorting through all of the submissions, if you want to win this thing, I am telling you right now, quantity of mullets is the way to go. Go catch multiple mullets. Don't worry about getting high quality mullets. Go get you quantity. Because right now, Lonzo, if any of the 6 submit one more mullet, they're the clubhouse leader. If one person goes out and catches 2 mullets today, they're going straight to the top of the power rankings. 2 mullets. I'm the only person that submitted 2 so far. I'm just saying. You'll be the only person with the matching shirt hat combo from the Fan Upstate. That's a prize, kids. That's a prize. Let's take a break. Stanley Cup date. When we come back, we'll also look ahead at the NBA's Western Conference Finals, game number 1. Give you some thoughts on both. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is the Fan Upstate.
You see.
Let me tell you about my friends QC Kinetics, ladies and gentlemen. Here is a reality. As you age, the connective tissue inside of your joints is going to wear down. You didn't do anything wrong. Relax. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just how biology works, right? It's going to wear down over time. And when you're younger, your body can help to heal. Your body can help to heal that connective tissue, restore it, regenerate it, and More Stanley Cup talk. And by the way, I do want to, one more time again, thank Kyle Sullivan from the Locked On Sports Network for joining us yesterday. He did a great job. We got some hockey talk in. I get in the car yesterday. Now, at the end of the show yesterday, our show yesterday, it broke that there was conversation swirling around the world of soccer that Lionel Messi was considering a deal that would make him a 35% owner of Inter Miami, the South Beach-based MLS team. And that as part of that deal, Lionel Messi would sign a contract to play for Inter Miami as the newest member of that club. And I ended that show yesterday with excitement. I entered that show going, this is great for MLS. This is the second most visible soccer player on the face of planet freaking Earth who wants to come play in our league. And I thought that was going to be a relatively universal take. And then I tuned into Offsides with Mark Ryan, which airs from 3 to 7, and which you should most certainly listen to, because it is a phenomenal show, even if I disagree vehemently with what Mark had to say yesterday about it. Mark said, this is an embarrassment. It is shameful that we get the cast-offs of the rest of the world. It is shameful that we get the has-beens. He said, I don't want to see Paul McCartney now. I want to see the Beatles in their prime. Now, I understand it. I get it. Of course, we want MLS to have the best soccer players in the world. But one thing that we, and I'm about to upset somebody, watch, one thing that we as Americans are really bad at is not understanding, more importantly, acknowledging when we're not the best in the world at something. Guys, we're not the best in the world at everything. We're just not. There are some things that other people do better than us, and soccer is one of them. The rest of the world is better at soccer than us. We don't have the finances. We don't have the resources. We don't have the money in soccer to attract the Lionel Messis. Let me compare this to literally anything else. If you run a concert venue that's a little, I don't know, 2,000 seat concert venue somewhere, and you got the opportunity to host a couple of mid-size local venues or mid-size local bands, you take it, right? You take it. You're not going to get the Foo Fighters to call you and come play your show, right? You're not going to get Megadeth to come play your show. You're not going to get Kanye to come play your show. You're going to take the best talent you can get for what you are, and with the hope that down the line, you're going to get enough people that are excited enough that you're going to start making extra money. Maybe you can expand your venue. Maybe you can get bigger, better, and down the road, you can start attracting bigger names. And sometimes that means you're going to take old veterans that are past their prime. Lonzo, a number of years ago, I saw Seals and Croft play at like a 2,000-seat auditorium. Seals and Croft. Rolling through the jasmine in my mind. Went out of my way to see that. Now, do you think that Seals and Croft in 2010 were on the same show that they did in 1982? No. But it was still cool to see the guys who made that music make that music, even if it's not as good as it was.
I don't know. My understanding is those guys are very good musicians.
They were amazing guitarists.
At least from that standpoint, the vocals might not have been as good, but yeah.
But that's the point, right? Like I heard Diesel complaining that John Bon Jovi was not as good at, his vocals were, he's 62 years old. Of course he's not 1983 John Bon Jovi. I did not go to see John Bon Jovi be 1980s Bon Jovi. I went to go what? To say I've seen John Bon Jovi. I've seen John Bon Jovi play live. I don't expect it to be the most amazing John Bon Jovi show ever. I didn't see him in his prime. But you know what I can say now? I've seen John Bon Jovi play. I don't expect to see Lionel Messi be the greatest soccer player on earth in MLS. You know what I do want to do? When Inter Miami plays at Charlotte FC next season, I want to go see Lionel Messi play so I can say I've seen Lionel Messi. I've seen him play in person. I saw the greatest soccer player of my generation, maybe ever, play live in person on a field near me. I'm going to see it. Now, the problem I have with Mark's take is not that I don't understand it. I get it. Yes, we want to start seeing the greatest soccer players on planet Earth play in MLS, but we're not that league, dude. We're a 2,000-seat music venue. We're not Wembley Stadium. We're a 2,000. When Garth Brooks plays in Charlotte, he's playing Bank of America, not the Orange Twist Bar and Music Venue, right? My band plays at the Orange Twist Bar and Music Venue because that's what we are. The greatest play at BOA for a reason. Now, how do we create the league that Mark wants, excuse me? How do we create the league that Mark wants? We create the league by taking advantage of those opportunities. When Lionel Messi shows up in MLS at Inter Miami, and he's playing in Charlotte and Philadelphia, and he's playing in Austin and Seattle, and he's playing in Portland and Chicago, what you do is you take the eyes that are going to be on Lionel Messi, the world, because he's the greatest footballer of this generation. And you turn the cameras on him. And you're not turning the cameras on him just to show them Lionel Messi. I mean, that's what they're here to see. You turn the camera on him so that you can see the product around him and go, that's pretty good soccer.
Well, the other thing is you bring in someone like him in any kind of sport, whatever sport it is, you bring in a big name, whether they're older or not, they're going to attract other bigger names.
Sure.
You have to start somewhere. And he has friends who may be disgruntled and maybe a little bit older, and some of them younger, and may say, you know what, I'm going to go play for you. And before you know it, you do have a better team than what you thought you were going to be able to get, all because that aged star, but one of the biggest stars in the world decides to come here.
And here's the thing. We've said for years, United States men's national soccer team gets better when MLS gets better and we can home grow talent and develop talent. Guys like Leo Messi make that happen. Even though he's not an American, if there are some kids that watch him play and go, yo, soccer's awesome, because they see the fan bases of the world turn up to watch Leo, you start to turn. You start to make that turn. I get that you don't want to watch the end of Lionel Messi's career. You want to watch the beginning. But Mark, that's not how time works, dude. If you want to watch Leo Messi in his prime, go to YouTube. It's on there. We got to take what we can get, because MLS is not Premier League. It's not Bundesliga. It's not Serie A. It's not the biggest soccer leagues in the world. We are at this point, a second-tier developmental soccer league that guys use as a launching point to make it to the Premier League or Bundesliga or Serie A or La Liga or wherever they're going to end up. That's what we are. The question is, because you are asking for MLS to be treated like it's the Premier League, like Serie A, like La Liga. It's not going to happen. That's like the owner of the Orange Twist Bar and Music Venue that can fit 150 people into it going, Garth Brooks won't play here. What a disrespect. No, of course he's not, dude. You don't provide what is needed for that level. That's not your fault. You're a startup music venue. It's not MLS's fault. They're a newer league in a country that doesn't love soccer the way that every other country in the world does. Can we be? Hell yeah, we can. Can it grow to be that? Yes. Could MLS one day in the distant future compete with La Liga or Serie A or Bundesliga or Premier League? It's going to be a distant future, but yeah, down the road. if this country becomes a soccer-loving country, which I think it can. But to say you expect MLS to have the premierest of Premier League players showing up on our stage to play our sport in our league because, well, that's what I want. That's not how it works, man. I want it too. Don't get me wrong. I want Zlatan Ibrahimovic to show up when he is 25, not 35. I want Leo Messi to show up when he's 24, not 34. But do you think Leo Messi would have got paid in America like he was getting paid in Barcelona or anywhere else he's played? No. Do you think Ronaldo is going to play for Philadelphia Union and get the same paycheck he gets from Manchester United? No. We're not there yet. We don't have the resources. But what we do have is Zlatan Ibrahimovic playing some time in MLS and people from Europe watching one of the best big men in the world play in MLS and go, hey, maybe the soccer's not that bad over there. Maybe I'll check it out. What you do have is David Beckham playing for LA Galaxy. Look at the difference in the LA Galaxy before and after David Beckham. Before, granted, that's one of the historical franchises of MLS. Before, they had okay attendance in one of the biggest sports markets in the world in Los Angeles. Post David Beckham, they were selling out the Home Depot Center.
Including a bunch of celebrities and those type people wanting to be there just because he was there.
Yep. And now what's happened? Matthew McConaughey is an owner of Austin FC, a club that's a club, frankly, because of him and celebrities. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are buying international football teams. All of that, in my opinion, stemmed from David Beckham showing up with the Galaxy. Was David Beckham in his prime at that point? No. Was he still one of the best players in MLS? Yes. Because again, if you are David Beckham caliber, you're playing in the Premier League. You're playing in Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga. If you are good enough to be the best MLS player, you're getting picked up to go get paid a lot more money and be worshipped as a player a lot more in Europe or South America. This is how it works. So how do we get to the point where a washed-up David Beckham or Leo Messi or Ibrahimovic? How do we get the MLS to the level where those guys at 35 aren't the best players in the league? You pay into the league. We as fans support the league. We watch the league on TV. I would ask people with that complaint, how many MLS games have you watched this year? I've watched a lot. How many have you watched? Don't complain about it if you're not involved in it, if you're not watching it. You want this sport to grow to where David Beckham and Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Lionel Messi at 34 aren't the best players in the league? Then give the 24-year-olds who would be the best players in the league and have 10 or 12 or 14 years left in their careers, not 2, give them a reason to stay. What's the reason to stay? Money and adoration. What every athlete's going after. Have you watched Charlotte FC? I'm going to a game Sunday. They play at home. Have you watched them? No? How do you expect them to be able to pay the money to get guys that aren't Leo Messi at 34 to show up? Right? Have you watched Philadelphia Union take on Chicago Fire? No? How do you expect even the biggest market MLS teams to be able to pay those athletes? Messi shows up and it brings attention to the league. Beckham shows up and it brings attention to the league. Zlatan Ibrahimovic shows up, it brings attention to the league. Thierry Henry shows up, it brings attention to the league. These are the biggest names to do it. And yeah, they're at the tail end of their career. They're in the twilight. Of course they are. But they are still the most attention-grabbing players of the generation. And the only way the MLS grows to where they aren't the best players to where the best European players are coming here to play out their twilight years and they're role players and not the reason people are going to go watch them. Watch, Inter Miami will sell out in attendance last year or next year. Why? Because the greatest soccer player of this generation maybe ever is on the pitch. Even at 34, people will want to see him. Take advantage of that. Don't hate on him for it. Hating on him for it gets all of us who love the sport nowhere. All it does is make it sound like Americans hate soccer, which is the reason we can't win World Cup matches. Sorry, it's the truth. Let me take a break. Come back, wrap it all up with a few final takes and Twitter trending topics. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is the Fan Upstate. Oh, Miami turned up the heat. You get it? You get it? Trey said, I want that blue Fan Upstate shirt. It's the colors of my high school door. Oh, Dory, you're a Dorman guy. I'm brainstorming how to get more picks. Hey, man. You got to go hunt, big dog. You just got to go hunt. They're out there. They're waiting for you, Trey. The Mullets, they call to you. We have just received another mullet submission, including at a bachelor party where the bachelor was talked into receiving a mullet during the bachelor party. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to say that's in public, yeah? They also did a photo shoot for it. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to allow it. The flag photo was in a Walmart. We couldn't resist the opportunity to make him remove his shirt and pose in his glory. Had I known you were going this contest, had I known you were going to have this contest, we definitely would have gotten some more public photos. No. Who sent this? LM, you're in, big fella. That's fantastic.
I think the real question is, anyone at the Walmart even notice?
It just fit in.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not cracking on Walmart. I go there every week, but still.
Tayshawn, look at Tayshawn showing up doing my first segment. What'd I say about segment number 1? Jimmy Buckets is legitimate. Legitimate. Quit sleeping on Jimmy Butler. Put some respect on the name. I like that he plays angry. I like that he plays with a grudge, my man. Oh, 100% it did, Tayshawn. 100%. That, and as he said after knocking off Philly, you took Tobias Harris over me. Like, he was mad about that, Jack. My man's on a mission right now, on an absolute mission.
That's what I called Tayshaun, but Rob is called for the opposite.
Yeah, no, I did. I said Golden State and Boston. Miami jumped me yesterday, though, didn't they? I got sniped by the Heat.
Been catching glimpses of myself on TV, angry.
It's intimidating, buddy.
So I get why it bothers people. It's fine.
It's intimidating.
I don't think it's the hair. I think it might be the eyes.
All right, got to give a shout out to LM who emailed me. We have our next mullet submission in the great mullet hunt of 2022. LM said, 2 of these were not in public. I know they don't count, but just to grasp what happened, this is my buddy, and we had a bachelor party for him. We talked him into letting us give him a mullet. First off, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, if you talk your boy into receiving a mullet at a bachelor party, that's public, right? Like, he's got him and his boys there. Of the people that you don't want to go mulleted in front of because you'll never hear the end of it, you went mullet at a bachelor party, I'm going to allow it. But then, he told me he took his boy to a local store which had a big American flag hanging on the wall. You may make inferences as you wish. Had him remove his shirt in the store and take shirtless, mulleted pictures in front of a gigantic American flag. Lonzo, there is nothing that is more in public than that move. LM, your mullet is officially submitted to the Great Rob Brown Show Mullet Hunt of 2022.
I'm just curious. Had him? I mean, what kind of control you got over this dude that or did you pay him to do it? Or did you do what, friends do and just antagonize him, make fun of him, dare him, double dog, triple dog dare him until he finally goes, oh, yeah, I'll show you?
They wouldn't do that. Would they? Wouldn't do that.
They might.
Come on.
They might do that.
Wouldn't do that. No chance. No chance. LM, your mullet is absolutely in the game, my guy. Absolutely in the game. Look out for your score coming soon. Real quick before we head to Twitter, Tayshaun popped into the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, or search The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. Like and subscribe to my channel, and you can watch the show behind the scenes all 3 hours every single day. Tayshaun says his name is not Jimmy Butler anymore. It's Jimmy Buckets. That interaction with his coach had him fired up for the playoffs. I'm seeing Mavs and Heat in the finals and Heat in 5. I don't even think the Celtics were ready for them, honestly, LOL. I'm going to tell you this. Lonzo, may, not definitely, may have slightly underestimated the Miami Heat. Slightly. Just a little.
Just a little, but it's still in game one, and I disagree with Tayshaun a little bit, Boston was winning. They did come out ready to
I
play.
beat them in one of 4 quarters.
Yeah,
you beat them in 1 quarter.
It's just after halftime, Miami came out and did what they had to do to secure the win.
Oh, yeah. Granted, they kicked the dog snot out of Boston in the 1 quarter that they won, but they won 1 quarter. The Celtics came back after being outscored. What did we say the third quarter score was? 39-14 was the difference? The Celtics came back in the fourth quarter and ran it back up. They did the only thing they could have, which was, let's go win the fourth quarter. They just didn't win it by enough. Let's not pretend like they got absolutely run there to the Boston Celtics. They lost a single quarter. The problem was the quarter they lost real bad. Real bad. On the flip side, we'll see tonight. I got Golden State. I think Golden State, healthy and well-rested, is just too much for the Mavs. And I love me some Luka. Hit it. Oh, that was 10 seconds off.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah. I was, I mean, it's your
Lonzo's
show
very
and
exact.
everything.
Wait
It's,
for
I
it.
mean, I could,
Hit it.
did.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
I feel a little bad about that because I should have taken direction, but that's just not me.
Lonzo,
I am
you
not.
are-
I am not a team player.
You are
Obviously,
a multi-time star award winner. I follow wherever you captain the ship, buddy. I'm just here to be the face of your vehicle. That's all.
you're my hood ornament.
I'm the hood ornament. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm the hood ornament of this particular rig. That is correct.
Soon to be featured on a poster. Can't wait for that. Where you actually look like a hood
Oh,
ornament.
I was going to say.
Yeah, so that's cool. All right, the first thing that's trending is the Pelicans.
So the Pelicans. Y'all, I don't know about you, but I like watching the Los Angeles Lakers lose. I do. I love it. I love it when the biggest bandwagons teams lose. I love it when the Yankees lose. I love it when the Cowboys lose. I love it when Notre Dame loses. I love it when the Los Angeles Lakers lose. I love when a bandwagon team loses. And last night, even though they weren't even in the playoffs, they lost again. See, because back a couple of years ago, you'll remember the New Orleans Pelicans had a cat playing for them by the name of Anthony Davis. And AD was a big part of what the then Hornets / Pelicans were trying to do, but the Los Angeles Lakers stepped in, and AD said, that's all, folks. This small market stuff's not for me. And he forced his way out, so the Pelicans sent him to Los Angeles in return for Brandon Ingram and a host of other players and a number of picks. But see, the Lakers were going to be fine. They figured, we built a team. We're going to be picking last anyway because we're winning some championships, except for then what happened? They lost this year a lot. Didn't even make the playoffs. So what were they? A lottery team. They ended up with the number 8 pick in the NBA draft. And where's that pick today? New Orleans, Louisiana. Courtesy of the Anthony Davis pick. We got an 8 overall pick. 3 years later for Anthony Davis? Thank you, New Orleans, for giving me one more reason to LOL at the Lake Show.
All right, we have time for one more. Bruce Wayne is trending.
I've seen something pop up the last couple of days about some kind of either a new graphic novel or a podcast about it.
All right, so here's what it is. There's a comic book called Urban Legends where they just do a bunch of short stories.
Okay.
And in it, they have shown how Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond actually dies.
Oh.
And who kills him.
Oh.
And I'm going to go ahead and spoil because chances are you're probably not reading that comic book anyway. The Bat computer kills him.
What?
The Bat computer is
I heard the sentence.
is designed to go against crime and everything.
Right.
The Bat computer kills Bruce Wayne.
Right, but
Because-
it pulled a gun?
Artificial intelligence is evil, Rob.
That's why you brought
That's
it up.
why.
That's why you brought it
That
up.
is why.
That's why you brought it up.
Killed Batman. All right.
That's why you brought it up. I mean, in fairness, Batman does commit a lot of crime, if we're being honest.
He is a
lot of
vigilante.
breaking and entering.
Yeah, but he's rich, so you're allowed to.
That is how America works. Liberob out. He's Lonzo. I'm Rob. Thanks for listening to the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. Bye, stream. See you tomorrow.